You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello, welcome back. Skyrim Addict podcast. We're doing some Dwemer mods this time. I'm Michael, and I'm joined by Colin.
Evening, guys. Welcome.
And Victor.
Hello.
And Ray.
Hello.
And we all have on our heavy Dwemer gear. We're going to go swimming in it and not drown like you do in Skyrim.
I got my brass codpiece on.
Yeah. So we got in some good. We had some good ones that not everybody was able to use all of them because some weren't. But Delves of the Stone Legion was not available on the Nexus, I believe.
Yeah, I just don't want to mix Nexus and Steam. And
No, I don't. I don't blame you. Yeah, especially with if you got something running stable. But
yeah.
So
across the streams.
Was it Clockwork, Moon and Star, and Delves of the Stone Legion, which were all essentially Dwemer-based mods. So, what kind of characters was everybody using? Still rolling the same, or I know Colin, you were saying you had like a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, I felt a little bad because I was still before the last episode. I was still finishing playing. Oh crap! I forgot the name of the game. That one where you go to the island. It's a recent RPG type thing, and I was still finishing playing that, so I didn't actually get started on playing the mods for the last episode until like a week before. So I just kind of rushed through it and jammed something together. So I felt a little bit bad. So I wanted to do it properly. So I went to the ASA podcasting website and found the character generator and rolled one of those. So for the Stone Legion, I played with the new character. I replayed through Carved Brink with that and had a lot more fun. Cool. And then I played through Delves of the Stone Legion with my Breton. His assigned pieces were heavy armor, alchemy, and illusion. And I was using Ordinator, and I was also using the follower mod, Sophia, which is fantastically. It's made really well. It's fantastically acted. It's got some great personality, and it elicits quite a lot of interaction, like of me yelling "shut up" at the television because of how well it's made. I'll let you know that I don't like the character. I like the mod, but I don't like her personality. Totally clashed with mine. I was like, shut up. I mean, first of all, when I was done the bit mod at the quest for Whiterun, killing the dragon, and then we're coming out and he named Usain, and we walk past Lydia and she introduces herself, and I go, thank you, we'll carry on. And then Sophia turns around and she goes, oh, I don't like her. She's ugly. Better. She actually makes comment about how much prettier she is than Lydia. And so instantly, I was like, no, fuck you. And I was like, I'm going to play through with this quest, play through with her and that. And I had a lot of fun because she was just saying all this stuff. And I was just like, saying back to the television screen, just saying, shut up, stop talking, just stop talking for 5 seconds. And so great mod, and some people will like her, some people I think will hate her. She's Marmite, or the Eric Cartman of Skyrim, as I referred to her earlier on. So that character
she could have been the sweetest thing ever, but as soon as she capped on Lydia, she was done for with you.
Oh yeah, that was it. I mean, she carries that on throughout the entire game. Whenever she meets anybody, like a named PC, and it's like in a quest, and she's with you. She will comment on the areas where she goes, like getting to High Hrothgar, and she comments on everything because it's really interactive with the rest of the game. It really makes a playthrough. And I can't remember. That was the only one that's stuck in my head. But she's like, one of her favorite lines is that I hate to boast, but you're like, you picked on the wrong person here. I'm going to kick your ass. But who am I kidding? I love to boast. And then she just like kicks her ass. But she's all math. The only problem is that the way he made her is that she has all the stuff to back it up. She's really tough. She's really good at fighting, and I think she's light arm. That's what I have her in. Actually, I have her in, that special Ultima, whatchamacallit, armor that we found in Carved Brink that the Ultima was traveling through.
Oh, the snow elf?
Yeah, no, the high elf. He had his own personal armor. It's called, I think it's called the Ultima Adventurer's Armor, and you find it inside the safe. The safe you walk into in Carved Brink right early on?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a set of armor in there, and I'll have her all dressed in that, and she's using his weapon. I'm carrying the two-handed weapon, that the two-handed mace, it looks like, that the Dromora was wielding, his named weapon from there. Yeah, that's the one I played with the stone leading through. I've got another 30 characters, so we'll just leave it at that, and we'll move on to...
How did you find Carved Brink a little bit easier to navigate and stuff that second time through?
It was easier because I knew where I was going.
Yeah.
The mechanics wasn't any easier. It's still but there is a quick way to navigate through, but that's like a crest reward that you get by doing a different part.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I'm going to go in and explore it again because it seems like there's much more there to find than I did that first time through.
Yeah, the most difficult part of it, I believe, was the difficult in surviving, getting through, fighting your way through was the one that I done. The Seeker's Path, which is in that second to last area. Actually, it's probably about the same, as where you're advancing up to the top to get to his palace, to get to his throne room.
Oh, yeah.
So that one is equivalent to trying to get through the Seeker's Path. I would say that they're just as difficult. But there's one really, there's a really annoying thing there as well. So you know how annoying that thing where you have to jump from place to place?
Yes.
going upwards. Well, there's another thing that's inside the Seeker's Path. It's not similar at all, but there's another thing in there that makes it even harder, and that's what gets you.
Huh. Interesting. I'm really stoked to go back to that because I thought it was pretty interesting, and I didn't I missed the Seeker's Path and some of the other stuff, so I definitely want to go back there. But so I went along with the same character that I had there since I was oddly playing two-handed and wearing Dwemer gear anyway, wearing Dwarven armor anyway. So I was like, well, I might as well just continue with that since we're going into Dwemer mods and wear my Dwarven gear. Just keep going. But so yeah, I kept the same character. I'm only a level 20 something. Stupidly, I have not found any good alteration spells, and so I'm running two-handed, using a Dwarven battle axe with what's that called? Fiery Soul Trap on it, and my armor has different mods and stuff on it, but yeah, without the alteration spells, it makes it a little bit harder because you don't have that, obviously, the boosts to your armor and stuff. So I kind of screwed up on that. And I haven't been to any cities other than Windhelm, and that was only through one of these mods. So oddly enough. And I finally went to Riverwood for the first time too. So I have not ticked off I haven't been through any other quests other than the mods pretty much and random stuff. So that is not involved in any of the major cities or even small cities for that matter.
He's a hobo, basically.
Yeah, he just
he just randomly wandered around.
Still living in Anissa's cabin. Still, although he's got a nice new house now that we'll talk about. But
as he walked by, there's children throwing potato skins at him as he's walking past.
But yeah, I mean, my characters. That's just where it is. It's nothing. I'm running Ordinator and then the other mods that we talked about that we're doing. So nothing crazy going on my end. What's Ray, Victor? What are you guys doing?
Go ahead, Ray.
So I rolled a new character. I wanted to do a mage, so I started down that path. I used Alt Start to start at the College of Winterhold, and kind of through natural selection ended up with Illusion and Destruction, and got hooked on runes and Ghost Walk. So she'd cast Ghost Walk, be invisible, go up, throw down the runes that would snap her back to where she was, and then she'd wait for somebody to walk by and blow up. So ended up, going heavy sneak too. So she ended up, I think, with one of the rings she got from Sarthal, it got her health up to 80.
Oh,
so she started out with Alt Start at 60, and yeah, that was that made sneak and illusion very important.
Yeah,
in this playthrough. So, yeah, she did a lot of Clockwork with no combat at all. So, but other than the college in starting the Sarthal, I never went back and told the Archmage that Tolfdir needed him. But I did go through the ruins in Markarth.
Arkanthasm or whatever.
Yeah, the one where initially you go in and you kill the giant spider for Calsomo.
Oh, yeah.
And then you keep going and go through those ruins. So
what's that one? What are those called?
It starts with an N. I can't remember.
Nunchunzel or something like that.
Yeah,
Nunchunzel. Yeah,
something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah. So she snuck through there too. I taken a cue from Slack's playbook. I did go into the Arcane Forge and make myself a handy Storm Atronach staff.
Yeah, those are good.
And so anytime there was any combat required, she would just throw the Atronach in there and let him do all the work.
Yeah, the Storm Atronach is great.
Yeah, but with a staff, you can throw it I don't know how many times farther than you can as a natural spell. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. It's a really good little hack.
Yeah. So, but so that was the character that I ran through with, and she also went into right there by Sarthal,
the main quest one.
No, there's a small cave that you go through.
Is it the one where you get the flute with all the mages in?
No, it's the one with all the
Sightless Pit.
That's the one, Silas Pit. And because I was using the Dormer Cube player home, and so that's on a shelf there in the ruins below Silas Pit. I got I got caught so bad in Carved Brink without being able to get out. And I swear this time that wasn't going to happen. I got the warning, when you get close to the entrance to the mod, that there's no going back. Like, oh no. We need some options here. So she could pop out her little player home, and so she ran around most of the time with about, I think when she really got loaded down, she'd have, maybe 98 to 100 pounds worth of inventory. The rest of the time she was more like, 30. So, because she didn't have to carry anything. She carried her staff.
Oh,
that was the only weapon she carried.
That's super light. Yeah.
And then in the mage robes.
That is true. That's super efficient traveling there.
I was one of the characters I made later on, the high elf mage. He went all the way through the mages guild, like straight through it. Didn't do anything else. Just went straight through all the way through. And what I do like is Jurek staff that you get in there. Jurek's Jurek's blessing, which increases your magicka, I think. Excuse me, on your magicka regeneration, and on the enchanting tree he has there, you get perks if you have a staff in your hand. So if you have a staff in your left hand and a weapon in your right hand, your weapon does more damage. If you have a staff in your right hand and a spell in your left hand, your spell does more damage. I was having a look going through his enchanting. I haven't gotten all the way up it yet, but it's got a lot of things there to help out if you're carrying a staff in one hand. And Jurek's blessing works well. So if you're not going to go the dual casting spells things, it works really well. So like having a staff in one hand and a spell in the other one. I was really enjoying that mechanic.
Nice.
Yeah, used a little bit of Shadow Bond in the Clockwork mod. So I could swap places with the Gilded.
Oh, cool.
So if you had to walk across the bridge and there was somebody in the middle of the bridge guarding it, you just swap places with them and keep on going.
Going to be some high sneak from that. I think I walk through the door. Actually, that happened at one point. I walked in one of the doors I was looking for one of the pipes, and literally 8 of them came in after me.
Yeah, they swarm. That's one of the mechanics there. That's
well, and resurrect too.
Yes, yeah.
But I was surprised. I think her sneak only got up to about 80. Which, since I was 100% sneaking all the time. I was surprised it didn't go up higher.
Yeah.
Was that just sneak, or was that sneak and sneak perks?
So I did. What did I was able to take 3 levels. So I used Valkyrie.
Okay.
So I was going with the semi-vanilla perks. So I had 3 levels of sneak. Yeah, her illusion was definitely the highest because she threw a lot of illusion spells.
Illusion's so good.
Yeah, it can be.
She got it up pretty quick too. So because that was the one thing that I spent for training on was illusion. And was able to, because I knew I wanted to get up there. One of the perks is to be able to cast illusion spells on
automatons.
Oh yeah, on the automatons. So and also
Undead.
Undead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, undead also. Yeah.
And so I knew I was going to need to be able to do that. So I pounded through that. And, made a lot of money making spells so I could pay for illusion training.
Man, I really love the illusion school in general in the game.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, especially when you've got all those spiders and stuff, and you can just turn them all on each other.
Yeah.
I had the same idea with my Roundtable character because that was the first one I made, and I done the same thing. Leveled up illusion quite high, got that perk that allows you to affect everything, and I thought, what have we got here? Meridian's Beacon. Oh, this is going to be so sweet. And I went down. He was wiping out everything, and then I went in and right, here we go. I'll get Maldoran, and I'll affect everything with thingy. No, Maldoran just fucking wiped everything. And he didn't take any damage. He just wiped them all, and I'm like, oh, awesome. So now it's just me and Maldoran. Awesome.
I've figured out how to defeat him pretty quickly over the years with I just make up a lot of very powerful lingering damage health potions and just fire them at him constantly. As long as I have a companion taking care of some of the corrupted shades, he goes down.
Yeah, I've now have a sort of like a concurrent play style through every single one of my characters is they always end up carrying cure disease potions, paralysis potions, and that's how I get him with paralysis.
Great, yeah, because I don't think there's any. Are there any even high level enemies that resist paralysis?
Undead, because it's a poison.
Oh, okay.
So we can get Maldoran, but we can't get his ghost with paralysis.
Well, yeah,
that's what you sacrifice your follower for.
Yeah, no, I thought Draugr were sensitive to paralysis. Maybe I've just never tried to hit them with it. Anyway,
you can get them with a spell, but not with the poison.
Ah, okay, makes sense. All right. Well, I guess I'm last up here. So my PJF character for Carved Brink was a little bit crashy, so I dumped that profile and started a new one with a little bit more. There's still a lot of mods, but anyway. So, and this one seems quite stable. I've just created just one single bashed patch, and that's it. And I've added a couple mods since, but I've been trying to be very careful with it. So I started him, of course, with the idea of being a Dwemer, and PJF's background is that he's a traveler between worlds, so he's always popping in from somewhere, using Live Another Life. So I decided to, of course, bring him in Markarth, Dwemer, with the idea of being a Dwemer, heavy armor wearer and probably two-handed or something like that. And then I realized that because I had in mind either that or light armor Dwemer, and using the I forget what it's called, Dwemer mage armor, perhaps. Anyway, and I forgot that that's part of immersive armors, which I did not load at the beginning, and I'd already played through. And IA tends to be a little buggy. It's an old mod now, and it's got some issues. So I realized that I couldn't get that Dwemer mage armor. So I thought, well, okay, I'll just keep on with he'd already started him instead of two-handed with, he was dual wielding. So we did a bunch of little fetchy quests and things. And I also decided that, I wanted, as I usually do, to let the game kind of guide me and decide on his storyline as I went. So I forget exactly the circumstance, but he came upon a shrine of RK early on at a very good moment in the game, and I decided to, because I don't usually, as you were talking about that, when you come into the world and it asks you who you want to worship, I usually say none, because I want to let things happen. And so I became a priest of RK. And with Winter Sun, have any of you done a Priest of Arcane with Winter Sun? It's got a couple of when you become a devotee, you get the arcane cycle, which revives you with full health when you take fatal damage. So it costs 15% favor, so it pays to keep your favor way up. And also with Winter Sun, when you as you kill enemies, I don't know if it's random or if it's some count of it. I've never really paid enough attention, but you're allowed to perform the rites of Arcane over a fallen enemy, and that gives you bonus points to your to the deities. I'm sorry, what was that? Was that Colin?
No, I was just going to say that's awesome. There's a few of them that have things that you can do in the game that adds to the immersion. Was it the Breton? If they serve, I forgot. I think it's Julianos. I think is that where when you're meditating, like when you're praying, you meditate, and you have to activate this spell thing when your magic bar disappears, and then it starts to descend all the way down to 0, and you have to activate it when it's below 20%, but it disappears at 50%, and you have to keep on doing that, and it's sort of like you're practicing your magicka type thing.
That's just like I forget what he calls his shout mod, Thunder Child, I think.
Yeah.
When you pray to Kine there up in the High Hrothgar, it's exactly the same mechanic. You have to time it with heartbeats, right? The thump. Yeah, I usually count to like 27 or so, and that's about right after the heartbeats start. And he's
yeah. Okay. So I had that. I was counting down, and I was like, "Yeah, I got this. This is no worries." But obviously, when I didn't pay any attention to, I was putting more stuff into my magic, wasn't I? And I was putting on the robes. I was putting on the helmet, the rings that added to magic. I go, "Yeah, I'm fine. I got loads." Because if it goes all the way down, you die.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Ouch. So anyway, so we the PJF sort of bounced around alone for a while, did some fetchy quests in Markarth, and started a few things, and moved across, and then after he came out of Clockwork, this is when he went to Whiterun and met Uthgerd, and they have been partners ever since, and are now actually married in the game, because she's probably my favorite female companion anyway. And above that rotten, ugly Lydia person there, I can't stand her. But
taking the low road. Low road.
So I've got Uthgerd dressed in well kitted out Dwemer armor now. Interestingly enough, yeah, she looks great in that. But interestingly enough, when you look at her stats, if you have a follower mod like EFF or something, she has in the vanilla game, she's carrying a two-handed sword, but she's actually better at one-handed and block. So now I have her with a really good Dwemer shield and Dawnbreaker. I'm also using Enai Cheyenne's latest mod called Triumvirate, which is sort of he calls it mage archetypes. It sort of allows you to play as some of the archetypes from games like D&D and stuff. And so since he's a priest of Arcane, I'm doing a cleric, and there's some really good cleric spells that they add. They're all sellable from appropriate vendors or whatever, like Marimal, Runil, sells stuff. And there's a couple of really good destruction and restoration spells. So healing spells and things like that. It's a pretty good mod, actually. It doesn't really, it's nothing more than just a set of spells. That's really all it is. There's no great mechanic to it or anything. But it's pretty cool. So Aura of Thorns is good. Caster and living or undead allies reflect 50 fire and sun damage in melee. What else did I use? There's Holy Fire, enchant your power attacks for 60 seconds to deal 10 fire and sun damage. That's a really good one, actually. Have that in one hand, and a good one-handed weapon in the other. But since Skyrim sucks at quick change of weapons and spells, you end up fumbling around. It ends up in the wrong hand, and then you click it again, and it ends up in two hands, and you got to go back and go. It's so frustrating. So I got tired of that, and I've just sort of defaulted back to just dual wielding, and forget the spells and shouts. So. Because I actually, before we get into it, but there's a little addition. I'm not sure if it's available on Steam or what, but anyway, for Moon and Star, there's on the Nexus anyway, there is a little add-on ESP that makes it's called Immersion. You have whatever, requires you to have finished the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller before the quest mod triggers, So I had to do that. So I have Thunderchild loaded anyway. So I'm going around killing dragons. Right now he's only about level 22 anyway, because I level slowly in. So
I played through Moon and Star, with him calling me the Dragonborn when never actually started dragons.
Yeah, same here.
Like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Sure, you're used to that even in the vanilla game. Does that, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's my latest incarnation of Paul Janus Finnegan. Actually, I'm enjoying him. He's it's been very stable so far. My computer has been less stable than the game. But I had a really weird experience the other day with this computer. It did something I've never had a computer do. It just stopped. It just stopped working. I turned it on and it would turn itself off. I ended up taking the CMOS battery out and that sort of didn't really work. And then I looked at it's an old Alienware. I looked at the Dell website and they told me to turn it off, unplug everything, turn the power on, and hold the power button in for a full minute. Reset something. I don't know, but it worked. So
there you go.
Yeah, it was weird. So.
Well, I guess we can get into Clockwork first.
Yeah.
So let's see. I have it pulled up on. I have the description on Bethesda.net anyway. Let's see. A chance encounter in the wilds of Skyrim sets you on a path to Clockwork Castle, high in the Velothi Mountains that border Skyrim and Morrowind. Isolated from and forgotten by the outside world, Clockwork Castle has not seen a living soul for a century or more, yet it is still inhabited. To reach it, you'll need to traverse the ancient tunnels beneath those mountains, recently uncovered by a landslide. Some strange apparition haunts the tunnels, however, and seems to be following you. Let's see. Clodovec Castle began life around 200 years ago, built by a very successful merchant family from faraway High Rock, according to the latest fashions from that province. Heavily inspired by Dwemer technology, all kinds of machinery and conveniences were later added to the manor. And over time, it instead came to be called Clockwork Castle. So, find out what happened to the family, who resides there now, all the technology, etc., the apparition. And this looks like it came out in 2016. So, I had never played Clockwork before. I'd always meant to download it, but I never actually did. I realized once I played it. But so you go through those tunnels in the first part, and you come in, and there's just somebody standing up on like one of those like the Dwemer towers that you find in all the that you kind of find like in Blackreach and stuff, right? The I don't know what are they actually called? Are they like towers basically? I don't know. Did you notice her when you went through there?
A little patio kind of thing.
Yeah. Did you notice her when you went into that part?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's in there when you walk through the front door. She's looking down at you.
Yeah.
She's looking down at you through the entire, because you first go into the Imperial Fort, and I did like when you get there, you got the little pop up, which I didn't particularly need, but it lets you know that you're going in here, you ain't going to be able to get out.
Yeah, you're not leaving for a while.
Just to let you know, and the mod author probably got a few calls about that after he made it, and he decided to put that pop up in there. So you get in there, and then the tunnel collapses behind you, and you have no follower. It's the same mechanic for what you call it, the old is it? No, it's not Namira, but there's that Daedric thing up in Dawnstar, so you can't bring your follower in on this.
Whatchamacallit? What?
Vermina, there we go.
Vermina, yeah. Actually, that doesn't always hold. I've had followers follow me in there, but it's I don't know whether it was a mod I had loaded or what. But anyway.
Well, I'll let you know that Sophia was able to go in now because she's not. I don't know what she is, but she's not a follower. What he's done to make her, she's not, because you know when you get sucked up by Meridia.
Yeah.
And she's talking to you. I turned around and Sophia was standing behind
me.
That's
amazing.
while I was floating in the air. But what I did like is that when Meridia placed me down, she dropped Sophia. She just went pop.
Oh man.
I remember one of our, this is years ago, one of the members who now has disappeared and hasn't been active in a long, long time. I can't even remember her name anymore. She was having issue with Meridia dropping her player character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The player character would fall to his or her death, whatever.
That's
Meridia
great.
stopped talking. Anyway, yeah. That's fun.
Yeah, so you get in there through the Imperial fort, and the collapses behind you. Yeah, and you look up, and there's just a woman standing up there, just looking at you.
Yeah.
And she's got the black streaks on the corner of her eyes, and then the drip down the chin.
Oh, are you here for the turn down service?
That's right. Yeah. It was very creepy. I didn't even realize that when at first how creepy it was going to get. I didn't.
Right, it gets creepier and creepier.
Oh yeah, it ramps it up as you're going through. Start going through the tunnels, and is the next part where she appears through the bars or something, or is it?
You go across the Dremel Bridge.
Yeah.
I have to play through it again. I remember at one point I turned around and she was right there. Like, whoa! I got a really good jump scare. And later on, there's that skull that tracks you as you're moving. I put a picture of it in my little post there.
The lights coming through.
That was weird. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So the problem I had was I was my creepiness level was up at 9, but my character was -3 because I was playing this with my character that I told you about that I made afterwards, which was I wanted to play the Dawn Guard with the crossbow. And I made a Malakath worshipping orc in light armor who had just finished the Dawn Guard. So he just killed all these he was just trottling through and going, oh, go. He was just and when all the skeletons started showing up, he just charging through them. And he had the Dawn Guard rune axe, which was doing 100 sun damage to undead, and he had the Dawn Guard rune, the shield. You know that when you hold block, it makes that Standar's aura around you that destroys undead. He didn't give a fuck what was in there, and he didn't care. He didn't want to listen to our story. Yeah, I was shitting my pants, and he was just going, "Come on, let's go."
That's great.
Because there's one part when you're partway through where she's right in your face, and then it flashes or something.
Yeah, well, and you read that note, because you're following, you get attacked by a guy.
Yeah.
It's Seal Bearer or it's something similar, I think.
Yeah, and you when you loot his body, as you do, there's a note on him, and it's from Camilla.
Yeah.
Telling telling him to meet her, at this place. And so, as you're going through, you find her, and then you read the note, and it talks about, how, she's freaked out because this, this woman is, pulling her, closer, and, she knows she's going to die. And then you turn around and she starts pulling you closer So oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
It was definitely trippy.
Well, and then there was the like horn sound, what you find out what
Right.
it is later
Yeah.
on, but
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what?
Or air raid siren.
Yeah. It's very much like an air raid siren, actually. Yeah, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah. But then when you walk into that room, the storage room, with all the shelves and there's skulls everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And as you're walking, they start turning towards you, and I'm in full sneak, but of course they still see me.
Yeah.
That was pretty trippy.
Yeah, it was nicely done. It was well crafted and good looking too. It's such a beautiful mod in so many places. Very very photographic.
Yeah, and it was
the place that it really got me was the Glass Lake.
Oh yeah, that was just. See, I played it like 2 or 3 weeks ago with that orc, but I also played through it this morning with another new character that
nice.
I made to have it all fresh. It was that good, and it was that glass thing where you have to drop down into it, and you're like. Playthroughs, I went back seeing if there was another way out. I didn't want to drop down.
Oh man, is that where she's following you?
Yeah.
She's under the ice.
Yeah.
It's it really is creepy, but I don't know if it would have been more effective if she could actually do damage to you or not.
She can at that one point. That's
when
after
you're going up.
Yeah, but it's not.
I wasn't really worried because I had encountered her before.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm taking damage.
Yeah.
And when you've only got 80 health,
that's a good point.
It all matters.
Fair point. Yeah, I went in at like level 7 or 8 or something like that. I was under level 10, but I don't remember. I don't think she killed me.
No, she didn't kill me, but she was definitely doing damage. So, if you just kind of let her bump into you, you would be damaged.
It's kind of like a absorb health effect.
Right. Yeah. I guess I meant if she could fight, or if you had to fight her.
Yeah.
Maybe that wouldn't have been. Yeah, it wouldn't have been as effective, I guess.
Yeah. When she started following you at that one part where she's just floating and following you from room to room, I was like, oh, what the? Like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And that siren's going off the whole time, and it's very odd.
I did like was it before you start going all the way up to head towards get out, you go into that one room and there's like a few skeletons pop up, and then right in the middle she starts coming up out of that well in the center. It was like, it's Seneko!
Yeah, it's Ringu, right? Yeah.
So let's start running up.
I think that's what the mod author probably had a little bit of that in mind.
He was a we'll get to it later. I was going to say something.
Well, the mod author's done a lot of Fallout mods.
Oh, really?
I don't know if any of you guys have played any, but I forget his name, Aventine or something like that.
I got to pull
her name, whatever. But yeah, most of the mods that he or she has done have been for Fallout.
Antistar,
yeah.
Antistar, thank you.
Yeah, there's 4 Xbox mods. Let's see what they are. 2 of them are Clockwork.
Yeah, I only looked at the Nexus ones, but yeah, they're several imported.
Yeah, and then they kind of lure you in because when you start getting into all the skeleton stuff, they're all just these cool skeleton sculptures and everything. And then all of a sudden you get to the one where there's the 4 in the center with the ring of skeletons around them.
Oh yeah,
like, wow, that's really cool. And then all of a sudden they start coming to life.
Yeah. I guess not to jump too far ahead or anything, but I don't suppose it really is. But none of that is really reflected later in the mod. I mean, you don't really get any explanation of what those skeleton sculptures are. Just insinuations, right? It's just more like
I got the impression that was just her having fun.
I guess, yeah. But I mean, I think
isn't it? Did you read his diary?
Yeah, it's clear later on, or it's not clear, but you can make some
assumptions. Yeah,
yeah. Some you can connect some dots and figure out who you think the skeletons probably are. But well, anyway, we'll get to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the diary is quite affecting, especially the last line.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And then after we get out of the tunnels, that's when we run into
Zahar. Right?
Yeah, is that how you say it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you go up and out. Was it? I had the fun
Or
with
Lahar.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had fun with that. The glass thing and stuff, like, running out back and forth over the top bridges. What was it? The first time I went through there, I was getting those the really tough skeletons, because there's normal skeletons, then there's restless skeletons, and then there's skeleton revenants, which are the tougher. When I went through there with my orc, they had what you call it, ebony battle axes on them and everything,
wow.
so they were doing some serious damage.
Yeah. So they're leveled then, because mine weren't that hard.
I was below level 20, so yeah.
Yeah, a couple of them had the supple ancient Nord bow on them, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you jump off there, and then you start going up, and you get outside. Makes you do a little bit of a run, like a chase scene, kind of like the ball rolling in the Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I was like, shit, I think I went the wrong way, because you are trapped in that room. This is like rubble. That
all of a sudden, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, anybody got a shovel or trowel? And then suddenly there's a last little handshake, and you get out. Yeah, that's when we meet Lahar.
Yeah, Lahar.
And it's like, it's such a different thing going from all of that, and then you get to this massive bloody, was it colonial house?
Yes, yeah.
and Lahar, and it's just such a contrast between the two. It really threw me for a loop.
I love the design of the interior too when you get in there.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's sort of, it's a lot of, red wallpaper and paintings. It's not really, I guess it doesn't really fit Skyrim all that well, but it is gorgeous. It's beautifully crafted.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be High Rock inspired, it says here. So I don't know what High Rock is like in general. So
it's kind of like the way it is in ESO. It's kind of like I would know, like Paris, like 17th century Paris, maybe.
Yeah.
Like really, like everybody has to, like, have stupid hair, white faces, and white powdered faces.
Very opulent.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kind of fits with it.
Interesting.
But what really sort of like, I was going, this is amazing. Oh wow! And then I went upstairs and went in the bathroom and turned the tap on, and water came out, and I went, now you're just being a dick. Now you're just going, hey, look what I can do. I can make a fucking running water tap and a toilet.
Yep.
It's like, now you're just being a dick, dude.
Yeah, I got in the tub.
Yeah, but then he takes you to the travel machine. Oh, but you can't use it now.
Yep.
Yeah, that I have to confess, I was mildly annoyed when that mechanic cropped up. I just thought, okay, you told me I wouldn't be able to get out, but then you show me the way to get out, and then you say I can't use it. Yeah, well, okay. At least dangle it in front of my head, a little carrot for the whole thing. Don't just like dump me in there and say, oh, darn it.
Yeah, I was actually worried about your sanity, like, a hiker like like Victor being trapped in the mountains and somebody telling him, "Oh, you can't walk out of here."
Yeah. What do you mean?
What do you mean? Motherfucker!
Todd Howard said I can walk anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only other, I think I only found 2 quests. The main quest line, obviously, the multiple parts of it, and the journals. I don't know if I found another one or not.
Well, there's little things, I think, aren't there? I don't, or am I thinking that Lamage 2 doesn't Lamage 2 give you a minor little thing later on? I don't
That's
know.
possible. Yeah, I may just be forgetting a small thing. Yeah, because there's the was it Logan's journals? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Ludwig, not
Ludwig,
Logan.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking Logan.
The mod author says a couple of side quests. I don't. Yeah, there's the 3 journals, but I didn't do those until much later. By the way, I finished the mod, left, and came back to do those. So
okay.
By the time I came back and read the journals, I'd sort of half forgotten most of what happened. Because I'm old and I slept a couple times before then. So. So 2 massive multi-cell dungeons to explore, new NPCs, 600 lines of dialogue, main quest line, and a couple of side quests. That's how the mod author builds it all, and around 6 hours of playtime, which is not too far off.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
So yeah, was it Lahar takes you outside to what is her name again?
Lamage 2.
Yeah. And that's where you kind of start getting more of the story and realizing there's some weirdness going on.
Yeah.
And she's a bit of a dick.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Most of the time I couldn't understand what either one of them were saying. So, and I don't have closed caption turned on, even if it would work with this mod.
It does up to a point, but not all the dialogue is subtitled, unfortunately. I did that. I turned the subtitles on.
Yeah, oddly, I always have subtitles on, but yeah, it does work for most of it, but not every bit. Yeah. What was the first thing we had to? Was the first thing repairing the steam lines? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's basically all of it, isn't it? I mean,
that's the major part of it, because you go up and down a bunch of times. But if you have dwarven smithing, it's way easier than if you don't.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. And I did not. So
neither did I.
But on the other hand, actually, sorry. Go ahead. I'll interject later.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah, if you don't have it, you have to search for the pieces of pipe. And first you have to figure out what they look like, and then search for them, and then put them in place where the pieces of pipe have been broken. So.
So I got in there, and of course, as I always do, I sort of climb around everywhere I can find, because that's just what I do in real life too. And I climbed up to the top, and there's this little note on the top of one of the pipes that says, "Try jumping."
Really? Yes. Wow, I didn't see that.
So I thought, okay. So and I jumped, and of course it's a pool of lava, so you die quickly.
Oh, is it right over the lava?
I tried it twice, thinking, okay, maybe if my health is really high, so I took a bunch of fortifies and shit and everything else, and I still died anyway. So in my head, I thought, all right, that whole area down there is dead and useless. I can't go there. So it took me quite a long time to realize that down at the bottom there is a forge and a smelter and everything else. So if you can, and there's tons of Dwemer scrap.
Oh yeah, everywhere
lying around in there. So I just gathered as much as I could, went down there, forged a bunch of shit, went back, got more, forged, and leveled up my smithing right there and then, because I was getting sick and tired of looking for the stupid pipes. And I leveled it up high enough to make the last, I think, 3 maybe that I had to have.
Yeah, I ended up having to search all of them out.
I should say I'm using adamant, so it's got a slightly different, very different tree. Actually, it's actually an excellent smithing tree. If you, but we can talk about that another time.
Was it with my first character? I had dwarven smithing because he was with the Dawn Guard, so you needed dwarven smithing to be able to make the dwarven crossbow. But and then he also needed fucking elven smithing, so he could make elven arrows, and he was in elven armor. Don't ask, it just happened. But my second playthrough, she didn't, but that's because she was using adamant and mysticism. So she, I played through that this morning, and she was a duelist and had a great perk in there called duelist. So basically, that's where you have a weapon in one hand and an empty hand. your other hand is empty. There's no spell, no shield, and nothing like that. And it had a great perk in there, and it's a very bare bones. But yeah, she had to run around all looking at the one thing I didn't realize is that just before getting to that where we walk in first, she got attacked by a wolf and got rock joint, and I completely forgot. And I went through all the entire fucking mod with minus 25% melee damage. It's only when I got back out of Norandorel and found Ludwig, and he beside him he had a few health potions and cure disease potions, and I picked them up and I was like, wait, didn't I? And then I had a look, and yeah, I had rock joints from the entire fucking thing. So I took a cure disease, and after that, and I was like, all right. And then it went through the rest of it. It was a lot easier doing it that way.
Yeah. I haven't gotten up to Duelist yet. One thing I do like about Adamant, since you, I love the fact that the mod author has eliminated the arcane armor perk, so you can smith enchanted armor and weapons right from the beginning.
Yeah, and he got rid of was it the dual cast perk? So if you know the spell, you can dual cast it.
Yeah.
See, now the thing with George, with the girl that I'm using, she's whatchamacallit, Red Guard, and was playing through. She's awesome. She's got tattoos and she's got a mohawk with a dangle thing coming like that. She looks totally badass. But she's a duelist and she wears no armor. So she's just in robes and has the alteration spells. So she uses the alteration spells, dual cast them. There's a perk in there when you dual cast them, it casts on you and it casts them on your follower as well.
Oh, nice.
And she picked up the Red Guard Executioner from Solitude. Because I played through the Civil War with her on the Imperial side.
Oh, cool.
And she was the only problem is that she was in no armor. All the good perks for like stamina regeneration are all in light armor. And it's with every, I think it's with the original, with the vanilla game, and it's with Ordinator. All of them sort of when you wear light armor, you get bonuses to stamina regeneration, to speed, sort of you move faster and stuff like that. But in no armor, all it gives you is bonuses to magical regeneration and sort of armor, which it helps out with balance, but I was thinking, because I wanted to move. I know you were doing a monk once where you were trying to use whirlwind sprint, that sort of thing before, and I tried doing whirlwind sprint, but it didn't work because the refresh speed was too long, and I wasn't doing speech, so I didn't have any perks in it. So the refresh speed, I did find an amulet of Talos in there somewhere, so that helped out a little bit.
And there's a pretty good low-level speech perk in Adamant too to reduce cooldowns. But and Whirlwind Sprint, at least the first level of it cools down very fast. So,
what I was trying to do is run in, have a few swipes, and then run away.
Yeah.
And that it usually works. But as you were saying earlier on about the problems you had with Skyrim, going from one hand and emptying those, I have the not that problem, but I have the problem of going in for a few swipes and then trying to sprint away. Because if they hit me, because even though she has the armor on, when they hit, it fucking hurts.
Well, I highly recommend. Oh wait, no, sorry, you're on Xbox. I don't think it's on Xbox, but Ultimate Combat.
No, this is I'm playing on
PC.
PC.
Load up TK Dodge. TK Dodge is an awesome little SKSE mod, and it will give you a double tap. So if you double tap back, your character will do a backflip.
Oh, interesting.
Excellent for running away quickly.
That's definitely what she actually needs. That's what I was looking for. I'm missing that immensely.
Check it out, because it's actually TK Dodge is by the same. It's Iron Dusk, I think, is the mod author's name. But anyway, it's built into Ultimate Combat, but you can get it as a separate little. I think it's an SKSE plugin, so it shouldn't have any effect on your game, loading it or unloading it.
Awesome, thank you. I'm definitely going to check that out because mind you, she found, I don't know, do you know? No, you won't. Just before she got in there, level 19, she found an ebony war axe in a chest.
Hmm.
Oh,
And
wow.
In
I had
Clockwork?
no, not in Clockwork. Just
Oh.
before she went in there, so
Oh.
I don't know where was it. It was Silver Drift layer, maybe.
Oh.
And just right at the very end, last chest, found an ebony war axe. The only problem is that I had taken the perks in sword.
Oh.
But the ebony because the only sword she had was elven. And ebony war axe does like +8 damage, which is monstrous. Or even like and I ended up going to war. So I'm using the war axe. It's got fiery soul trap on it now, and that was just devastating everything in the way. But all those skeletons in the early part of Clockwork, they're all just lesser souls.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd filled up all my lesser souls, so I started putting them in my fucking commons and me. And I was like, "Oh, stop doing that!" So I found one of the skeletons had a honed ancient Nord sword. So I had that, and I was using Elemental Fury. The shout that makes the sword go faster.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I was using that, and that was awesome. Sorry, I'm taking everybody's time. I'm gonna
No, it's okay.
back in a couple of minutes. I just got to go and get a drink.
Yeah, so let's see. We were doing the pipes, right? So there's 10 pipes.
Yeah, so we finished the pipes, right?
Yeah, 10 pipes, but you replace them. It took me a while because I had to find them. If you smith them, much faster. And that gets some of the things going in the castle again, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you go back to Lahar, and actually that's when you
that's to get the
time travel device. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So you get it working, but you still can't use it.
Yeah. Still something's blocking you. Something.
One of the nice things about having to go around and find all those pipe pieces was that I had a pretty good layout of
absolutely
of that space
for sure.
Yep.
Same here.
So later on, it was much easier to navigate around.
Yep.
Yeah, because in the beginning it was a little confusing, and then once you do it a couple times, getting the pieces, it definitely you start to figure out where you are and all.
Yeah, you kind of forget which is the mortal plane and which is the this and the that. Yeah, it is yeah. So then you have to go, and is that when you go and you have to kill what's his name, right? Who turns out to be a sort of a centurion.
Their like brother or whatever they call it.
He was the
original or something.
The original, yeah. Of the Gilded.
He was amassing all their whatever you want to call them, hearts for lack of a better term. They were like crystal something or others. I forget, but yeah, there was like it held. What's that?
Amalgam is his name.
Amalgam, that's it. Yeah. So he's basically like a centurion. And he was down. Was he in the mortal plane? He was down at the bottom, right?
He's in the sickness room, right?
Yeah, that's right. He's in the sickness room. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to go through that, and that's when you first hear that really quite amazing little tune that the mod author composed, which is very, very haunting. It's quite it's beautiful, and I could just listen to it almost. It's one of those little sequences of notes that you can listen to endlessly. It's beautifully done, and that's also, I think, where you first start hearing them. He's speaking in sort of a stilted sing song.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's speaking in octaves and fifths and up and down. It's very cool. I thought that was really, really well done.
And he kind of like starts repeating himself as you're going through, and you just I guess you hear it through the what are essentially like speakers throughout the place.
Right. Yeah. I don't need you. I don't care. Yeah. And then I need you.
You can just leave.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Amalgam?
Yeah.
After we figured out what his name was.
Yes.
A fucking creepy ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. It's like watching, was it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah.
Creepy bastard.
What were the things in the chest? What were they called?
Crystalline hearts?
Crystalline hearts. That's it. Crystalline hearts.
Yeah.
I knew it was crystal something or other and something. And
so
he's
so you get through there, right? And you think you kill him, but you haven't.
Yes,
Yeah.
And he was collecting like multiple hearts to try and like keep going, I guess, because I guess what was it? Is it Lahar that explains it? That after a certain amount of time, like the hearts go bad essentially.
Yeah.
And they start like kind of losing their minds, I guess, like the soul in the crystalline heart, which is, I guess, similar to like a soul gem kind of thing, becomes like corrupted, I guess, and causes some kind of issues.
Right.
Which is kind of it depends on how you look at it, because didn't we just do the same thing to save Lamash too?
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to Amalgam to take one of his, so we can take it back to her and she can,
Yeah. I mean,
keep going.
Yeah, our reasoning is that Amalgam's like a bad guy because he's killing other ones of the brothers and sisters. What does he call them? I can't remember what he calls them.
The Gilded?
Like the Gilded, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And our sort of like reasoning is that he's a bad person, so it's all right to do basically what he did because he's a bad person and that. But when you're looking at it from his point of view, he's like he probably felt himself going, felt himself like kind of getting Alzheimer's, and
Yeah,
be
basically,
like, I'm losing myself. Other people are he's probably noticing it, like, in others as well. And he was like, well, everybody's going to lose it, but I don't want to lose it. I can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he kills other people and takes their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell of a guy.
Sounds logical to me.
Is that when the Gilded all kind of come back, other than just the three that you come across, the original three, the other three? All the ones in the whole area, that whole underground area, start coming.
To resurrect.
Yeah. Is that after him?
That's pretty much after just a few minutes.
Yeah.
They come back.
Yeah. So then you have to run across the whole thing. If you've figured out some of the mapping, it's not that bad. But if you've forgotten where everything is already,
because you do the complete opposite side of the space.
Right. Yes,
which is a huge place, and there's no direct path anywhere.
Yeah. Well, you can come out of the sickness room, and then you take that elevator up. But then, you have to run around and across, and it's over. It's in the mortal plane, I think.
I started finding some walkways that really helped, like ramps going up, and I was able to maneuver those pretty quickly and get back and forth. But it took a little while to get to the point where I could do it, pretty easily.
I did find one place where, now I don't know if it was just my game or what, or if there is a little bug in the mod, but there's a crash spot in there.
Really?
If you
Is
come
it over
out
by the vertical pipes that you try to repair?
It's not near one of the ones that you. No, I don't. Is it? It's you come out of the. Let's see. The mortal plane is the next area after the first area you go into. Right. I can't remember what the first area is called. So you go through the first area, about halfway down. There's a ramp out into the mortal plane. I found if I came out of the mortal plane, this was earlier on, and the Gilded were all swarming around me. They'd spawn like 10 or 15 of them, and they'd chase you, and they chased me out of the mortal plane, and I jumped down a set of stairs, ran across, and then out across some pipes, which was kind of a dead end, but you could hide behind one of the vertical pipes and snipe at them. Anyway, when I came back out of there, and I repeated this numerous times, come back across those pipes and turn towards the stairs, the game would crash. And I did it on several different saves. I went out that way after coming back from the mortal plane, going out along that, coming back and turning left and crash. So I just stopped going there.
Yeah.
Good.
Same thing happened to me. I was trying to fix the pipes, and when I was trying to go up go along the bottom and then go back up and then fix the pipes where it was the two vertical pipes on the one side that was at the mortal plane side. Door was. When I was trying to go up from the bottom, every time I started to go up, it would crash halfway up.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get past it. I crashed like 2 or 3 times. I was like, all right. So then I had to go back down, across the other side, get the lift up, walk all the way across, then walk around the outside, repair it, and then go down. And I was quick saving and go down 10 foot and quick save. 10 foot. And finally, because if I couldn't get down there, I couldn't advance the quest because I needed to repair all 10 pipes.
Yeah.
And this was the last 2. I had 8 repaired, and these were the last 2. And if I couldn't get in there,
I think it must be a similar area. I did. I thought it was either an autosave, corrupt or something like that. I tried several times with good, solid saves and everything, and nothing helped. There seems to be a spot in there that's just dicey with the game. But it doesn't like destroy it or anything like that. Like, as you say, you can work around it. So
I just move around a bit.
Yeah, the first time I went into that space, I started out, casting the Atronach, and I quickly realized that, these guys have really low perception, and as long as I didn't bump into them, I could walk right in front of them.
Yeah, they're not very canny that way. Yeah.
And they wouldn't, they wouldn't detect me. The eye open a little bit, but they wouldn't detect me. And if somebody did detect me, I could just run away and hide again and be okay. So I didn't fight anybody from after those first 3, in that room, that you first run into the Gilded, until I had to battle with Amalgam. And so, I didn't have to worry about swarming or, any problems like that. It just was, you just move really slow, sneaking around. And he wasn't really all that hard of a fight for the,
no.
I think I cast 1 rune. I was using lightning. I cast 1 rune on him. And then the Storm Atronach, and took him out pretty quick. And then he's hiding behind the bars, and then you got to figure out how to get him out.
Oh yeah, that part, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh crap, and then because I don't have any, and so finally I saw the ballista up there. And thought, wonder if I could shoot him with the ballista.
Oh, yeah.
Went up and found a note saying, oh, hey, this is what you're supposed to do next.
Yeah, you need to find a lever.
I've read a couple of people have found that lever during the course of play with so they actually have it with them when they get to that point.
Oh yeah, well, I mean there are 2 pieces of pipe in that room where the lever is.
Right. Yep. Yeah. There's more pipe than there are pipes needed.
Yeah.
I found that out later too. Yeah.
Was it when I was fighting him the first time was easy? Was it had a legendary enhanced Dwemer crossbow with dwarven bolts of flame, so they were doing 15 points of explosion damage, so he read down real fast. Literally, he did. Was it? And what's his name? I can't remember my orc's name, but he didn't even have to go into sneak. He was just like laying into him. And with the Ordinator perks, he has the quick fire crossbow. So it's like, firing quicker and quicker and increasing damage the more he lays into him. So that when I was playing with George this morning, I go in there, I swipe at him, and then sort of like I'll be circling around him, because he hasn't got that, so he can't hit me. But obviously he's on a pivot, on a ratchet or whatever. So his whole head the whole top path can spin all the way around, and he would just spin around and clump me. I could survive one hit, but I couldn't survive 2 hits, and that was where I couldn't get away. That's where your suggestion for the TK dodge is going to come in. It's because I couldn't get away. It's sort of like, after hitting me the once, and she's like hitting him, after she's like sliced through them, I can't sprint away. The character's got to stop doing the motion of doing the action of hitting it, and then once he stops doing that action, then I can start to sprint away. And it's just a little bit too slow, so he got me like 2 or 3 times.
I don't think I had too much trouble with him, and like I said, I was running 2-handed, and it seemed to go easy. Like I don't think I had to restart it or anything, or do it over after getting killed or anything like that. And I didn't really have too much issue with the Gilded, so I didn't find any of that super difficult getting through. Other than finding your way back and forth or whatever a few times, but the battles I didn't find overly difficult in this.
Yeah, and a couple of times I did get caught. So I also run the Andromeda Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, the Lover Stone gives you a gimme.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would occasionally get, because anybody, even, the lowest characters in the game can one-shot me.
With 80 health, yeah.
And so, it was nice to have that, that lover's embrace and come back to life. It unequips your weapons and spells. So as soon as you come back to life, you better be ready to run like hell, because you can't turn around and do damage.
Yeah. Well, you need to become a priest of Archay, clearly.
So after we get his crystalline heart, or one of the crystalline hearts, we bring it up, replace hers, right? That's where we do the isn't there some device we have to use? Am I missing?
Yeah, Lahar has you take her old heart out and put it in this little box that he made.
That's right. Yeah.
Along with the one you got from Amalgam.
And it basically transfers the soul from one to the other. And then we just install it in her, basically. And she seems to be fine.
Did she explode in your game? Because she exploded in mine.
What?
She gets covered in ice and then explodes, and then you wake up 2 foot away from her.
Yes, that did happen in mine as well.
That didn't happen to me.
It flashes white, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. Wow.
Maybe we did something wrong. No, but I do recall that. I actually do recall that.
You grabbed the blue heart.
Yeah.
That's right.
Darn it.
It's supposed to be the red heart.
Yeah, this is the flash dance heart. Yeah.
And that, I think after this, we get more of the story from her, and also we find out who the creepy ghost is, right?
Yeah, this was the only spot in the storyline that I thought was a little bit of an anticlimax, but
yeah, because it ended up being her.
Yeah,
split, a piece of her or something, basically.
Half of her.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on the lore, but she was saying she was 4,000 years old.
Something like that.
Is that how long ago it was when Kraganak was doing his thing?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's about right, because let's see, that was that second era?
So with the new medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about right.
Yeah.
And they were, and she's different. So you have the Gilded that's down there. And they're different because the way she was she's doing all poetic. What she was saying was it stuff like they had written their names in the dirt and it had gotten washed away. So I think she was saying something about how the memories were stored.
Okay.
And how it was written on the machines. So like all the rest of them. So that's why they had all forgotten, because they were the first and it wasn't that good. And Lahar was the second. He was still losing his memories, but it wasn't as bad as all the first ones. And she was the last one, where they probably, she's going to remember where they soul trapped her and then took her, killed her, soul trapped her, then took her bones and, dunked them in, molten metal.
Yeah.
And gilded them and then reinstalled. But at the moment of her death, that's when Kragenak touched the heart of Lorcan. And that's when everything went tits up, and it supposedly split her in two. So that killed her, and then they killed her at the same time. So she ended up being in half her soul was in the gem, and the other half of her soul was, a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we.
Story, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway,
is this where they? Did the machine get turned back on here, or is it after this?
It's after this.
It's after we get them back together, right? Or
you do get told by Lemish too, that, because you're asking about the box. She's like, "How did you fix me?" And she's says, "Oh, amalgam. He's been destroyed before." In quotation marks.
Yeah.
And then she says, "Oh, but how did you fix me?" And you're like, "Oh, what's his name whipped up a little doohickey." And she was like, "Oh, that's understandable, seeing as he's the creator of us all."
Yeah.
He's not the caretaker, he's the creator. You try and tell him later on, he's like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Huh? What?
Do you want some chicken?
Yeah.
I can show you around the castle.
Yeah.
He is good at that, actually. Yeah. He'll also go fetch you things, right? He'll fix. Oh, did you have him fix the wallpaper?
No,
I did in the first one.
Yeah.
I left it in the
Had
second.
him get rid of the body.
Oh, really?
Clean that room up.
So he'll take you places and stuff. It's the mechanics in the inside the Clockwork Castle are very good. I mean, the sort, like Colin was talking about earlier, the sorting devices and everything. It's all pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll take your quest shit off you though. Careful.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, they'll take all your.
I was thinking about using it as a player home, and I decided not to. Just
my first guy is my orc is my second one. She likes things small, so she's got Breeze home, and she likes that better because she paid for it. But yeah, it'll take all your your books that are quest marked and your anything on you that it's quest marked
really
books. I went into the library and it.
Maybe I'll have to go in there and give it Meridian's beacon.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd love to. Yeah, on that. Never mind.
Because of course I was speeding through the sightless pit, and ooh, a gem, big you see that just as you click on it, you see the name next to it.
Yeah,
shit.
Actually, because what was it? My red guard. She's a follower of Lecky. It doesn't say anything about not doing anything to help Daedra out, but she won't do anything to help Daedra out. So she got Meridian's beacon and she went all the way to to her shrine, got the word of power for elemental fury, and then just walked back away. Left it there. My it's ruins. Yep, and it's gonna stay that way. And she carried on going. She, even though she's a sword specialist, she didn't go in and get Dawnbreaker. I was quite proud of myself. I was like, "Oh, that would be so nice," but I didn't.
So that we got to go back down in the was it the mausoleum or whatever it's called? Back down to
the new doll,
and then we go back to the scene of the siren where that's the last sound she heard.
Yeah, we have all the sarcophagi.
Yeah.
Yep, in the direction flow.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's because she has to soul trap her and then we destroy her so they can become one. But of course, because she's the ghost, she's a bit on the tough side.
Yeah, and she bounces from sarcophagus to sarcophagus.
Yeah. For starters, I couldn't figure out. Okay, is it in this room? Am I supposed to figure out how to get behind those bars?
Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure it out.
Because again, I don't have any quest markers, so I'm checking. Nope, that one's locked. Nope, that one's locked. Oh, that one's got bones in it. Nope. And then finally, I'm standing in front of it, open it, and she comes walking out. I'm like, oh shit!
Oh man!
So much for the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Well, there was the element of surprise. It's just that you didn't have it.
Yeah, it wasn't on my side for sure.
Oh God! Yeah, you have to. It took me a little bit to I was like, wait, huh? What are we doing?
And then okay, so finally you end up beating her, and then she disappears. You're like, okay, and then a gilded comes popping out, and then slowly but surely it dawned on me that she's back in another one of these sarcophagus.
Yeah.
And so you do that, I think 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 different ones she's in.
I do like when you're heading down there, you're talking to Lanesh too, and she's like, I head down there and we need to. I'm going to put this on me, so you won't mistake me for any other ones and hit me by mistake.
Yeah.
And then immediately after she goes, "Don't hit me by mistake."
Oh yeah, and she's wearing the red banner, basically.
Yeah. She's like, "I'm wearing this so you don't hit me by mistake."
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like how they marked her.
Hit me by mistake. I was like, all right, calm down, woman.
Oh man, yeah. I did like that a lot. I like how they did that and how they marked her so you wouldn't get confused. Because there's no way you would be able to tell otherwise.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
Well, she was the one that had the little horn sticking out of the side of her mouth.
Oh yeah, well that too. But I think in battle that would be harder to see.
A little hard to spot.
Yeah. As the battle axe was flying.
Yeah. So the ghost fights with a
Drain life.
Drain life spell and a conjured sword.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
they hurt.
Well, after she surprised me the first time, I just ran away, and then she never hit me again. But one of the lightning spells I have knocks the enemy back.
Rift bolt.
Yeah, and so every time she would go to hit Lamashtu with her sword, I would hit her with that spell and knock her back, and she'd swing and miss. And the whole time Lamashtu's sitting there, with the fire, trying to melt her. And then my Atronach was behind her trying to, blow her up. And so it was kind of fun, to try to work on that timing to get it so that she would miss every time.
Now, after we get them back so after we defeat the ghost version of her,
you get to talk to her, but there's a little treasure room at the back.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing worthy of note in it was the dwarven crossbow.
Oh yeah, that's where the dwarven crossbow was, right? Yeah, because I got that. I forgot of it. Yeah. It was, but it was it wasn't. What is it called? Wasn't it like a special one or something, or was it just a normal dwarven crossbow? Am I thinking of a different mod that had?
The one that I got this morning was just a normal dwarven crossbow.
Okay,
and I already had the enhanced one from the Dawn Guard quest.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an enhanced one for some reason. Maybe it wasn't.
I don't even remember what I got.
I stuck it in a barrel, so I don't remember. It's in a barrel at Anissa's cabin. So
yeah, I have to admit that as soon as I was done and the teleport device was working, I was out of there. I wanted to go do other stuff. So
yeah, I went back to. I ended up going to Windhelm because it was like the only city I had open.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, oh, I guess I'll just go there.
Yeah, I went straight to Markarth, of course.
And then I fast traveled back to Anissa's. So, but it is a nice player home. I just feel like it would be a pain to get back and forth to.
Yeah, that's what I decided, and plus it didn't really fit with my character at the time. When I was in there, he was wearing mostly Forsworn, fairly well smithed up Forsworn armor, and using a Forsworn bow and various other things, but. Because he hadn't, I mean, I sort of played it that the Clockwork Castle is where he really sort of developed his liking for the Dwemer stuff, not necessarily even Markarth as much, because Markarth was more Forsworn.
Yeah.
So by the time he left, he had a lot more interest in Dwemer artifacts and Dwemer things, and so he went back to Markarth and so to speak, delved into that some more.
She does give you the was it the recall spell though?
Yes.
Yeah, and that works really well. I tried it out.
It does. Yeah.
It takes you right back to the machine.
Yeah.
And also, you can use the machine to travel to places that you have not been to yet.
Oh, okay. So we'll.
Oh, really? I didn't try that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you have the map. You just have to pop on the map and go.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
But well, the mod is absolutely fantastic, and stuff like the creepiness of it, and then sort of like the creativity, and then the in-depth detail of the house.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things.
Yeah.
But then all the points of the fast travel points for the travel machine, it's just like a little it's like, was it the Midden Dark? It's just this trap door that you just go down, and then there's just this Dwemer machine with a giant glowing ball in it.
Yes.
And then you go, I mean, all right, it wasn't turned on for the past 200 years. And there was a locked gate that only you have the key for. But there's there's a door right on the side of the Riften, was it gatehouse right next to your house, where you've got the little walk up.
Mm-hmm.
On the outside by the lake. Well, there's a door right there on the side of the wall, and that leads into the travel point for Riften. And then just it's some of the most obvious places.
Yeah, I haven't tried it anywhere but Markarth, which comes out across the river.
Yeah.
But so some of them are well hidden. Was it the one in Falkreath? That comes up and you're in the middle of a potato field.
Oh, really?
So,
oh, my God.
So when I went to go back, I couldn't find it.
Oh, no.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah, and the one at Winterhold is just like the Midden.
Yeah, it's just underneath the stairs outside.
Oh, okay.
And they're all individually designed as well, so they're all sort of they're all slightly different. So obviously the Winterhold one is all ice and snow, and sort of goes down into a lake, and it has the what should we call it, the stonework from the college going up through the top of it. So when you come outside, it matches up with the stonework. So
nice.
Again, perfect. All the the details, and with the
so it sounds like some anachronistic Dwemer portal sitting in the middle of a potato field.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, it's great. It really is a good mod overall. I was reading up on some other people's reviews. Some people really hate it, but who cares? But I think it was superbly done in a lot of ways. The diary is really cool. We haven't really talked about it. I mean, it's kind of a side quest. It sort of fills out the story a little bit. It's mostly just kind of a poignant, lonely diary. God, what an awful life.
Yeah. Well, he was the last owner, right?
I did that in the middle. So initially when I started reading this, I thought, okay, is this the ghost?
Oh yeah, me too. Because I had I found the first one early when I got there, And I thought, yeah, I agreed. I thought maybe something was going on where it was the ghost or related to the ghost or something. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. There to do the diary. Just,
And Ludwig was the last owner, right? Or
he was the son of the founder, right?
the founder.
Believe,
Okay, yeah.
So, and the last, he had siblings who all took off on him or whatever.
They left. They didn't stay
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah.
They get trapped in there, and he's the one who's done all the tinkering. Like obviously all the Lahar helped things like that, but he was the one who's doing all the tinkering around the house and making all the chutes and the springs
and made the teleport machine, and then he used it and didn't like where he ended up and went back.
Oh man,
Must have got a fall creep.
Yeah,
he was in the potato patch.
But what was the last line of the diary? And it was like really effective. It's like, and in the end, it didn't matter or something like that. It was like, God, what a desolate, bleak.
It was very bleak.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Sort of, and there he is, just lying in the skeleton in the bed. It's like, God, a lonely life.
Yeah, because it was that room you couldn't get in, right?
Yeah.
And then
and Lahar claims he didn't know it was there, right? So
yeah.
Well, I wondered where he went. And we stopped asking for food. It's like, okay, you were alive once, dude. Maybe you knew.
He stopped asking for food. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I did like Lemma's 2 line though, where she said, "Time is like I've been around for 4,000 years, and time works differently for me." She goes, "I turn around to ponder something for a moment, and then I turn back, and you're all dead."
Yeah, that was good.
It's like, actually, even like elves only live like 150 to 200 years, so like comparatively to somebody who's been around for 4,000, that's a tiny amount. So you can understand it.
Sort of like the Nerevarine, right?
Yeah, I kind of liked all those aspects of it, from whether it's design or the story itself that was kind of interesting and a little different than anything you would get in the vanilla game. And
I loved it. Awesome mod. Very well done.
Yeah, I wish I'd played it sooner because it's one of those ones where you always see it on there. You're like, oh man, it's always near the top. I should have grabbed it. I don't know why I didn't play it sooner.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful. I mean, they did a superb job of designing those. I mean, yes, it's a little tedious, running around up and down, but it's nicely designed. So I didn't really find it. Tedious is the wrong word. There's a lot of work getting back and forth in there, but it's not. It really isn't that tedious because it's really pretty and it's nicely crafted as level.
And certainly, once you find your way around, it's a lot easier. But in the beginning, it is a bit confusing with all the different levels and all.
Not to diss on Carved Brink, I didn't really like Carved Brink as much as you guys did. But I found that was tedious to me.
I definitely liked this more than Carved Brink.
Yeah.
Moving around in Carved Brink was
hard.
Fiddly.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to go back to Carved Brink.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do Clockwork.
I said that too, but then No Man's Sky happened.
Oh God. Oh jeez.
Oh, I still love No Man's Sky. I got to get back. I haven't played it in a little bit. I have to go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's so I picked it up again in the middle of June, and it'd be just over 300 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Sean's been liking it a lot too.
Yeah, it's I've owned it since it first came out on PC.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
And I played it, and the first time I played it, I was like, oh, this is so cool, but what the hell is there to do?
Yeah, it was one-dimensional.
There's just nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then I picked it up a little bit later, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool, but then you run out of stuff to do again. And now, I mean, it's just the biggest time suck.
Oh man!
All right, I'll go back in and check it out.
I tried it out. I bought it when the sale was on, and I got as far as finding a planet that I could live on without worrying about like taking damage.
Right.
And
When you walk out your front door.
yeah, and then built a house, built whatever that teleporter thing is, like kind of like a save thing, and then ended it there, and then played something else, and I haven't felt the need to go back to it. It just doesn't.
It's definitely a slow paced. I mean, aside from the fact that I make a lot of money really fast, from the very beginning of the game. And so every time you go into space, the pirates want to try to take your stuff. Once you get to a certain level of income, the pirates come after you in a big way. And so that's about the only real, battling that goes on. The rest of the time, it's just, looking for cool spaceships, I flip, my current save is about 120 hours. And I think I've probably flipped at least 60 or 70 ships.
Wow.
In that time. I ended up with, I started collecting ships, and then I thought, ooh, I should do, this, and I want all red and black ships. And so then I ended up swapping out all my ships for other ships. And so it's, it's just a game I have fun with. It's, it's nothing, real dramatic, but it definitely is a good way to spend a lot of time. But which is why I didn't do Moon and Stars.
Oh no, I didn't finish Moon and Star because I really wasn't high enough level to do it justice. So I got well, we'll talk through that. Shall we start in Moon and Star?
Yeah, it's not a super long one. We could blow through that one. Yeah. I had played through it previously.
Okay.
I actually played this probably maybe about 2 years ago, I think. Let's see, when did it come out? There's another one that came out in 2016 as well. So it has one main quest. There's a little village, Little Vivek, I believe it's called, is in Lake Ilinalta, south of kind of southwest of Riverwood, essentially. Right near Niece's cabin, conveniently enough. And there's a little over the water village. It's nicely designed. I do like that aspect of it, where it's kind of boardwalks going to the different little mini islands that the homes are on. And let's see, you meet is it Mandan Halu that you meet first? Is that what?
Halu? Yeah.
Yeah. And he basically sends you on a quest. I think you have to prove yourself first, and you go check that bandit camp where everybody's already dead.
Right.
Over by what's that house? Lakeview Manor. It's kind of in that area, I believe.
Yeah, trying on a bandit camp.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought I remember playing it last time, and not everybody was dead, but everybody was dead when I got there this time.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. And you got to get the helmet.
Yeah, that's supposed to be.
Yeah. And then you're asking about
yeah, because you get a quest to kill a guy, don't you, from a dark elf in Windhelm. Isn't he in Windhelm?
No, he's at the Sleeping Giant, right?
The Sleeping Giant, yeah. Is he?
He's at the Sleeping Giant. That's it. Yeah, you get a letter, right?
Yeah.
No, I remember. Yeah, I thought he was in the New Genesis or New Genesis Corner Club for some reason. But yeah, he says he wants you, like, there's a dangerous criminal, or he's come over from Morrowind, and you need to kill him and sort of like things like that. So he sends you to the island, and you talk to everybody there. They're all pretty much useless.
Yep.
They give it a couple little fetch quests, but nothing.
Yeah, there's find the stuffed dogs, find some random stuff, wheat, things like that. Yeah.
That's something for some guy named Belmar or somebody, whatever his name was.
Balron. Is that the guy you hand out the stuff for or something?
No, he's the fop. There's
Yeah, I liked him.
He's still a fop.
He was the nicest guy.
He's a nice.
He was the nicest, most helpful guy.
Yeah, the other one, the one who takes himself way too seriously.
Yeah.
It's on his little island over there.
Yeah. He's got like the leather station.
Yep.
The tanning rack and all that. Yeah.
So he's sort of more part of the main quest, isn't he? I think. But anyway, there's a little fetch quest for him too. I can't remember what I brought back to him, but
yeah, there was a couple little fetch things and stuff.
I did a lot of those first. By the way, I have Asteria loaded in this as well, just to see what it was like. Not using it as it's a Dwemer airship. It's not the one that moves. That was Devavesa, I think. But it's actually located right almost in the same spot as Little Vivek.
I've seen your photo, yeah.
Yeah, so you saw the photo. Yeah, it makes a good picture there. It just sits there up in the sky above Little Vivek. Doesn't conflict at all, actually. So it's kind of cool. And it's a very nice mod. It's inside is gorgeous. It's really, really well done. So
yeah, there were the guy was talking about. Some guy showed up. He was talking to him, and he was wearing some badass armor.
Yeah,
and he told him about the bandits, and then when you get back with the dented helmet, showing him like, oh, they were already all dead. He was like, oh, that other guy that I was talking to, it must have been him, but I didn't even ask him to do such a nice thing. And then you're thinking like, what that dark elf told me doesn't track with what this dark elf is telling me. Like, an assassin, like a Rubag guy, like going out killing bandits to help out a town without a reward. So that's when you're thinking like, something doesn't add up here.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go where the cave is like, it's in the rift, almost in the rift, right?
Yeah. It's all the way on the eastern end of the map, right?
Yeah. It's
that other one that's a sort of portal. I can't remember the name of it. Something Torvar's.
Tovar. Yeah.
Torvald's cave. Yeah. That's it's also near Runevald, where you find the guy for the Dawn Guard quest. So I'd already had cave. It's right next to that.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I had nothing in that area, so I had to do a lot of running.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. I think I had to start actually up by Windhelm and then run all the way down, as a matter of fact. It was kind of the closest jumping off point for me.
Well, I mean, isn't the gateway for Clockwork over just south of Kynes Grove, right?
Is it? Yeah.
So
yeah, that was probably closer. I probably should have went there. Maybe I did. I can't recall. I do have some of that stuff opened up in the rift in like the swampy area there. So you go. It's this is the one with the puzzles, right? You go in, you get a kind of a riddle in each room, and have to figure it out.
I got the first two. The third one I got wrong, and it was really irked me. I went too fast.
Oh, the medals, the one with the medal. Yeah. So I went with Heart of Gold, and then right when I put it in, then I realized Steel Heart, and I was like, oh, piece of shit. It really annoyed me.
Well, you don't have to do a lot of those. I mean, it helps if you get the keys and stuff like that, right? But certain things, it helps you with certain things later.
Yeah.
But in order to get down to the guy you're looking for, you don't have to complete any of those, do you?
Well, no, you can get them wrong and then fight what's
you can get them wrong and then enemies come out. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
That's basically what I did because I didn't have enough imagination to figure it out any other way. I think I put the Centurion Heart or whatever it is in first I thought, okay, I got to put something in the box. So I stuck something in the box. Something happened. I thought, okay, I did it right. And stuff I had to fight stuff. Okay, that's what I was supposed to do. And I just kept going.
I can't remember. It was the first
one. It
was
was a lot more subtle than that.
The first one was the
Amulet of Mara, I think.
The marriage necklace or something like that. It was
the dwarven marriage necklace. Yes, because obviously they Mara win, so it's not going to have the Mara one. It's not Skyrim.
The second
yeah,
one
we're saying
was
something about combining and sort of like, becoming stronger.
yeah, combining two souls. Yeah. And I
so-
stupidly put two soul trap scrolls in there. I was like, oh wait, and I had played this before, so it was stupid on my part. I had already, if I had taken 3 seconds to think about it, I would have remembered. But I stuck to two soul trap scrolls in there, and then fought the spider. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, literally, I followed what it was saying, but
I can't remember what the next one was.
it was something about time, controlling time or something, something like that. But it ended up being that was the one that was the quill.
Oh yeah, so like one that outlasts everything. So like what weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
Outlast and stuff like its stories and stuff. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I got that one right. It was the next one. It was the metals.
Yeah, because you have all the different, or most of the different ingots there.
Ingots.
Yeah, ingots there, and then it ends up it's the steel one you need, not the others. So, but it could easily be applied to any of them. It's just it is the steel one, and then in the fourth room there's another one, but he's already taken care of.
Yeah, and that's it. They were right. That is some badass armor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is that early bone mold armor design? Is it?
That's what it looks like, right?
Dragon, some kind of dragon plate, but I guess it could be early bone mold. Yeah.
And he kind of tells you
Morrowind designed.
Yeah, Morrowind. Yeah,
probably is. Yeah, actually, you're right. It might be sort of a riff on the game, the Morrowind game. Yeah, it does look a little bit like that. A little less overdone than the Skyrim version.
Yeah, which is really. He kind of tells you his story at that point, and you can decide to help him or.
What, you mean you didn't rush at him and kill him?
No, yeah, I didn't kill him, but I said, "Yeah, screw you." And then I felt like a little cartoon, he gets smashed by a hammer, little bloody.
Oh man!
I did not.
Yeah, I think it was a one shot, basically. Yeah. So then I said, "Okay," but then I realized when I got in there, I was just way overmatched. That I did everything. Well, okay. Go ahead, guys. So you go ahead and what happens once you tell him you'll help him?
Oh, that's where and you go into the room with the
the other Numidium. We're going in to fight a god. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, lovely.
Gigantic.
And I love the way he just says, "Don't worry," and he goes, "I'll distract him, and you do your thing."
Yeah.
And he's out there like, "Womp womp womp," and you're like, yeah. I'm glad you didn't ask me to distract him."
Yeah. What thing though?
Yeah, he doesn't tell you what thing. Which it took me a little bit, but like a few minutes, I was like, oh crap, now I remember what I was supposed to do. And I went, but only because I had played it previously. But I remember the first time I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of levers, but you pull a lever and then what do you do? So
yeah. So there's a giant Centaurian in the middle of the room. And there's these 3 beams going to these, they look like Centaurian hearts basically, right? Or spheres. Not hearts. I'm thinking of the crystalline hearts again. So there's these beams of light shining from 3 directions at 3 different, like Dwemer spheres, basically, or not spheres. How are they called? The ones in the that you get from the Centaurians. The
dynamo cores.
Dynamo, yeah, yeah. It looks like those, but much bigger, obviously, since this thing is gigantic. Probably like 5 times the size of a normal one or something.
Yeah.
But when you pull the levers to the correspond, because there's a warhammer, I think like a glove.
Yeah, there's the gauntlet, and then there's
because you
keening is the other one.
Yeah, you picked them up at the start when you first walk in.
Yeah.
There's the replicas of what they are.
Yeah.
And you pick them up. and then you use once you pull the lid. Because I didn't know, I just walked in and I just started blasting it with
Yes. Yeah.
with my
Oh,
crossbow.
see, I did not pick them up.
No,
No, I did not take them with me. They are still sitting on the table in the beginning.
Aha.
What did you do with
have
them?
to shut the power off, right? You have to shut the power off.
you have to shut the power off. Yeah, so you run or you pull the lever, and then it turns the beam red.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then whichever, if it has like the floating thing for which we call it for keening, you walk up to a core which is now glowing red, and you smack it a few times with that, and it turns that beam off. And then you run over to the other side, and then you flip the next switch for the Kraganak, the hammer, whatever the hammer is.
Yeah.
And turn that red. You whack that a few times, it turns that one off, and then you run over to the other one. And the other one was the glove, but I turned it off, and I couldn't whack it with the glove, but I whacked it with the hammer again, and that seemed to turn it off. So yay, hammer! I think
you can turn it off by whacking it with just about anything. So I'm beginning to wonder, because I turned them off with other, so
I just use sparks.
Yeah. So, and then you were able to help him kill the thing, because see, that's where I got to, and I had turned them all off. I ran downstairs and started, doing whatever I could to help, and nothing was dropping the health bar. Nothing.
Yeah,
Zero.
you can't do anything until they're all shut off.
Yeah, I shut them all off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and destroyed. I mean, not just shut off.
Well, so destroy them with.
You have to go up. So what you do is I do them one at a time. Like, okay, you go to the Warhammer one, run up the steps that have the Warhammer above the head, or up high, and then you can destroy the crystal or whatever the hell it is over there that is shooting the beam.
Right.
To the core.
I thought I did.
And then you have to do all three of them.
Huh. Maybe I didn't do that, the whole thing then. That must be what.
Yeah. If you go, the only one that doesn't matter is what was it like a hood or something like that? Or a helmet?
Yeah. There's only three of the four or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you shut each thing off, you run up the corresponding steps that have the, the image floating over it, and then destroy the thing that's up there on the steps shooting the beam out. Oh,
not the dynamo core, but
not the center of the room. You got to destroy the thing on the outside of the room.
Well, that's what I thought.
And I did it with
If you stopped all the beams going into him, then you did it right.
Yeah. Well,
and then it must have been just bugged.
Well, either it's bugged or I didn't do it right, and I just thought I was just not high enough level. It seemed weird though, because he's according in my game, he's the thing is like level 30 or whatever, and it just nothing was.
Yeah.
So either it's bugged or I didn't destroy all the things I had to destroy. So anyway, what happens after that?
That's when you can battle him.
Right. What happens after you inevitably destroy him?
Then you
because you're the man.
What is really bad is how powerful the Nevermarine is, because he was doing he's got master level spells.
Mm-hmm.
You know that master level destruction spell, the shock one where it shoots out that beam. He was doing that in the middle of the fight as well. Look fucking badass from the outside. But yeah, he was like rocking out, and I was like running around. You get close to that Numidium thing, that'll kick the shit out of you in one hit. Even with my orc, he's only in light armor, but he took taking a few light armor perks. But yeah, that knocks you for 6. And when you finally get that done, you get it killed, and then he tells you, "Oh yeah, no, that wasn't a Numidium."
Yeah,
that was just like a particularly tough one, but it wasn't actually what I was looking for. It might just be a rumor then, or it might be somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then after that, then you get a little present.
You get the weapon.
Mm-hmm. Seeing as my guy was an archer, well, with a crossbow, but he also had Oriel's bow, so he was using archery as well. So he chose the bow, and he got given Nocturnal's. Can't remember the name of it, but it's Nocturnal's bow, and it was kind of like I had the enchantment on it, like the dwarven black bow of fate, where it absorbs, like it kind of has a chance to absorb, but also it's invisible. So when you equip it, so it's in your inventory. When you equip it, it's like you've summoned it, like a summoned Daedric bow.
Oh, cool.
And then when you go into sneak, you turn invisible.
Oh,
very interesting. I took
you wear it.
Chrysamere, which is, I think, the sword.
What did that do?
I don't know. I didn't use it. I just I gotta look
for booty.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was rolling with I was super happy. I have the perks for the war axe, so I really didn't switch to it. You know what I mean? Or the battle axe, not the war axe. Sorry. So there was no reason for me to switch weapons.
I can see. I mean, I think when I do because Legacy of the Dragonborn has been updated, and it's really, really stable and good right now. So when I finally do a build for Legacy of the Dragonborn, I think Moon and Star will be it'll be a great little quest mod just to throw a couple more things up in the museum.
There you go. Yeah. I would think so. Yeah.
And because I'm virtually certain that it's integrated into Legacy of the Dragonborn, as is Clockwork, if I remember correctly.
Colin, were you able to get in that other door that's locked?
Don't remember.
The two
That's
doors.
from what I read up a little bit. Excuse me for that. Something about the puzzles earlier on. You get a key.
Oh, so if you get them all correct, maybe you get the key. Okay, that makes total sense. Yeah, because it says you need a key. All right.
Oh, yes, I do remember. Yes, requires a key.
Yeah.
I didn't get in there. I got
Okay,
in the other one.
That makes sense.
I got some fancy loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you get them all correct, then you get a key. That would be my
that
assumption.
last one wrong, you bastard.
Yeah, but it was a quick little mod, basically. And you go back, and when you go outside, whatchamacallit's waiting for you outside, right?
Yeah.
Who?
Freaking, what's his name?
The guy who sent you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Hualu guy? Okay.
Yeah, Mandan, yeah.
So do you have to waste him too or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he tells you, he asks you for his ring back.
The Ring of Sanguine, right?
Yeah.
Which was,
it's a nice ring.
what did that do?
40% fire?
Oh, yeah, fire resistance.
It's a good ring, yeah. In fact, I'm wearing it.
As am I, actually.
Yeah. No, I gave it back to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, here, I don't need your stuff.
Do you have an option to kill him, though?
Yeah. Once you give it back to him, then he attacks you.
Yeah, you kill him anyway. Either way, you're killing him, so it doesn't
matter. Yeah, either way, you're keeping the ring, too. Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because once I looted him, he didn't have it on.
Yeah, if you kill, it's not there. Yeah.
Oh.
If you give it back to him, then it sort of like goes into the game dungeon.
Yeah.
Oblivion.
Yeah.
Because I think I did it both ways, actually. Yeah.
I'll be trying to keep it then.
Yeah.
In there and see if I can figure out why I can't kill that.
Yeah, you have to
Numidium or whatever.
I would do one thing at a time, one symbol at a time.
Yeah.
Run up the steps. Shoot it with like sparks. I use sparks, but I think you can use pretty much anything.
Yeah.
When
it might be great to get all the puzzles though, because I've saved where I was talking to the Nerevarine.
Okay.
So I've already gone through. Can you go back and redo those puzzles? Maybe I don't know.
I don't think so.
Did you? Sorry, to go back. Did you get the book?
Yeah, there's a book that sort of cryptically explains all of the puzzles.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You read it.
No, not that book. The book that's in the back room. And it turns out that because it's all written in Dwemer, so you can't read it.
Oh.
But the Nerevarine goes to the Shrine of Azura. And if you bring the book to him, he will translate it. And it turns out it's Kraganak's diary, and that place was a shrine to whatchamacallit, the woman that he fell in love with.
Oh, very cool.
I can't remember her name, but she was
one of the triumvirate or something, right? Or was that yeah.
No, she was a guard. She was the woman in the book was a guard that worked in his in his tower. So he would be working in his tower, and she would come in, and she'd be on night duty, but she would be in full like heavy armor, and she'd just, like start taking the mick out of him and stuff like that, and like, you know, pretend to be really stupid but kind of making a joke. And then it just sort of like went on and on like that for like a few years before he finally worked up the courage to ask her to take her helmet off, and sort of like, you know, and turns out that she had a broken nose and scar down the side of her face, and she looked how a warrior was supposed to look. And she goes, not what you were expecting, and he goes, no, it's even better. And like, you know, I think she died of something or other and like that, and then he built that palace in honor of her and sort of like that. That's her. And if you go in there's a dwarven warhammer which has a special name, and it also does something special, but I can't remember what it does now. But that's her warhammer.
Oh, cool. And
she was a proper heavy armor wearing sort of like, you know, warrior type.
That's nifty.
Yeah. So it was really nice, and it's kind of like you know, where you take the Falmer books to Urag and he translates them. It's kind of that sort of mechanic. Yeah. And so you give it to the Neververine, and he gives come back in a few days. You go back there a few days later, and he has it translated and gives you like the English version.
That's right, because he hangs out up at Azor's statue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you do anything else with him? Can he be? No, obviously he couldn't be a follower. He's too powerful.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. Yeah.
Definitely fun.
Put him against the Ebony Warrior, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can ask him for advice. I think there was one sentence where you could ask him about the Civil War or something like that, and I think he says like something like literally there's no side to choose, but like, you know, you're shit either way, which way you go, like, you know, whichever side you choose, it doesn't really matter because it's just crap on both sides.
Either way, yeah. Interesting. I like it.
Cool. Well, it was. I mean, it's a nice. Like you said, it's a nice short little mod. It works well. I think I'm gonna load up Wheels of Lull next. That's another Dwemer mod, isn't it?
I tried that one that you put in the chat, Dwemer Tech.
Oh yeah, you have to be level 40 in or more in alteration maybe to trigger that one.
It's one of three. It's alteration, restoration, or destruction.
Yeah, I haven't gotten up there. I haven't loaded it, but I haven't gotten up there. Yeah.
I had it on my whatchamacallit, high elf, and I got to the second NPC. I was like, nope. Thanks, bye. Went back like 3 saves, and so like, no, don't worry about it.
It's an old one. It's one of his original mods. Maybe I was gonna say, guys, I have to sort of jet soon.
Yep.
Can we do that one later? You can. You didn't go through it. I want to try to get up to and try it. I've never tried it before. So your review sucks.
No, not that it sucks. Is that I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like the story at all.
Right.
And as I said, I only got to meet the second NPC. So there's you meet one NPC, and then he's like the lead into the second one. And literally, it's probably only about 2 or 3 quests in.
Okay.
But it's the attitude of the NPCs and sort of like, you know, the direction where they're going in it. Because it's obviously the Dwemer, so it's the direction where they've taken the Dwemer, like their story, where it's gone from, like, you know, what you would know in Skyrim. And I was like, no, I'm out.
Maybe this is where he figured out he wasn't good at doing quest mods and started doing
all the other ones. But, I didn't like it, and I really didn't like the way they were dressed either. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I got to get up to. Let's see. For a cleric, I'm going to is restoration one of the 3?
I believe it is. I believe it's restoration, destruction, or alteration.
Alteration, yeah.
To level 40.
Yeah, I want to level him up in the restoration and try to and start that. So, yeah. Sorry, I have to go. So,
do we want to? Wheels of Lull, you said, was Dwemer.
Isn't it? I think it might be. Anyway, it's another good one to do. It was on our list, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yes. I mean, I don't know if anybody's free next week or the week after.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm free next week.
I don't know if I can do it all in 1 week, but let's see. I think we're going away Labor Day week, or at least for a couple 3 days. That's the 7th here.
Yeah.
Is the 6th okay?
Yeah. That's the day before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe do we want to add Wheels of Lull? And also, there seems to be Trial of the Stone Legion.
Yeah, I know there's another one.
Yeah. Oh, it's similar. It's okay. So it's the same guy. Let's see.
That's part of Wheels of Lull.
Yeah. No. Well, there's Wheels of Lull, and then Trial of the Stone Legion is another mod by the guy who did Delves.
Oh, okay. So that's probably not on.
It might not be. Let's see.
No, you'd have to do. It's easier to do it on Xbox if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I'd have to build a whole new character to get that done.
Okay, it's kind of like a sequel, I guess, to Delves.
Well, that's cool. I'll listen to you guys talk about it.
Yeah. Do we want to do both of the Stone Legions then for the 6th? And Wheels of Lull, since that's a PC one?
Works for me. They canceled Dragon Con, so I'm free.
Oh, no.
They canceled Dragon Con, so I'm free.
Yeah, they're doing it virtually.
There you go. Yeah, that'll work. Good. Now I'll hop into the sequel of the Stone Legion and get my ass handed to me again over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. I was lucky I went through that with my mage character, the first one, the illusionist. So he was just going through and just setting them all against each other.
There you go.
But the only I say problem, it's good, but it's bad, and I don't know how I feel about it. He now has there's a perk that you can get an illusion really, really high up of where you can enslave somebody. You beat them down to 12% health,
and then you can,
and then just cast a spell, and then he's permanently so I have one of the bandits that I found in there, and he's following me around, and I think I might do away with him.
There you go.
Because I have the healing spell, so I can keep on healing him back up to health.
All right. Well, next time we'll get into some more Dwemer mods and some Stone Legions and Wheels of Lull.
Sounds cool.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you
Night, guys.
later, everybody.
Next time.